Hello everyone, I am Suryansh and in this video we are going to talk about product management. Let's start. It says, what is product management? It's the process of guiding the development, marketing, life cycle of a product from initial idea to its retirement. The role sets across business, tech, customer experience. Let's go ahead and have a look at a very simple example that we all are very well aware. Let's look at Uber. Now, we all know that Uber has a platform that is available across iOS, it's available across Android. Now, this particular app can be used, let's say, for booking. Let's say you want to cancel, let's say you want to pay, so on and so forth. You have multiple options that you can have using the access of Uber. Consider a scenario wherein, let's say, if I am the owner of Uber and I would like to have this kind of app being developed. It will have multiple features as we use them today. In order to get this done, I need someone who knows how to work with a tech team, who understands what are business goals, who understands that, what is the marketing that I'm looking at. He's someone who, let's say, understand user experience. He can take feedback from users. Now, this one person, in simple words, is in charge because he will be the one leading the initiative to make this particular platform a success. This particular role, learners, is the role of a product manager. This person works across, let's say, marketing, development, across the life cycle of a product. For example, when Uber started, they would accept payments using Paytm. Now they also accept cash and so on and so forth. Therefore, this person is in charge of the entire life cycle of the product. Now, let's look at some of the roles and responsibilities of a product manager. Consider again this scenario wherein I, being the owner, let's say, of Uber, I would like Uber to do everything. You know, cab. I want food delivery. Let's say I want to book a truck. Uh, you know, let's say I would like to get in something called quick commerce. I want to do everything. As an owner, I'm saying this. Now, it's a fact that everything cannot be done at once. This is where the role of a product manager comes in. This person would define what exactly is the scope, as in what exactly are we going to achieve now? What can be done at a later stage and what should be ignored? This person takes care of this responsibility. Again, everything cannot be launched at once. Therefore, this person launches the product in phases. Phase 1, let's have an option of booking a cab. Phase 2, let's give an option for the driver also to cancel. Phase 3, let's add multiple payment options. All of these phases are defined by the product manager. Now, since he is handling, let's say, the owner of the product, he is also handling, let's say, different phases. He's working across multiple teams. This person is defining the scope. This person is also defining different versions of Uber app. This is where we come to the roles and responsibilities that the product owner would define the vision. The product owner, let's say, would work across cross-functional teams. Now, as we said that, it has to be launched in phases. This is where something called roadmap or the product roadmap comes in the picture. That means you prioritize which features should be launched, what are the timelines we are looking at, and if users have emphasized a particular feature, then that should be given some priority. That's the reason a product manager extensively works keeping in mind the customers and the user requirements. That could be done through multiple ways. It could be understanding the market trends, it could be even looking at competitors. One interesting example is that Rapido is another platform offering similar services to Uber. They have launched a completely new model for drivers, which another competitor, Ola, also implemented. Therefore, you learn a lot from your competitors as well. Since you are, let's say, performing lots and lots of roles and taking responsibilities, there are some of the core skills that every product manager requires. I think it's no doubt that communication is the topmost, because your entire job role comprises of explaining, let's say, the tech lead, we need to get these three features done. Marketing team, please tell me from where we are getting our maximum leads. Okay. Recruitment team, all right, I would be needing three more, let's say, associate product managers. Therefore, communication is your 80 to 90% of your job. That's the reason you work extensively using this skill, because you'll be aligning all the stakeholders. It could be the owner of the platform, which say would want everything to be done. It's your job to convince that person, hey, not everything can be done at once. And once you're dealing with so many teams, conflicts are bound to happen. Therefore, you need to have this kind of a collaborative environment. Now, here's another scenario, learners, which says strategic thinking and prioritization. Let's say I would like to have Uber as an all-in-one logistics platform. You know, you could even book, let's say, an air freight. You could also book, let's say, a container ownership, so on and so forth. That's what I am thinking strategically. I want everything to be there on Uber. However, resources are limited. That means you can't have everything on one platform at one go. This is where, learners, you will be balancing a lot between strategic thinking and prioritization. Let's have a look over here. It says, about understanding the broader picture. Okay, my broader picture is all in one logistics platform and aligning your product decisions with the company's goals. Therefore, this product should have all in one logistics services, including air freight. Prioritization says is about determining which features or tasks should take precedence. Start with cab service, take some feedback, get some revenue, then maybe you can go to the next one. The product manager also needs to focus here. He can't only say to the owner that he, prioritize. In this way, what's going to happen is the PM would lose his job. At the same time, the PM would have to listen to this aspect as well, because it says you need to think several steps ahead, making sure that every feature change contributes to long-term success. That means if you are building a cab business and the long term strategic thinking is moving towards other parts of logistics, you need to keep other market trends. You need to keep user requirements at non-stop learning phase, because all of this is a part of your strategic thinking. Then comes prioritization, that you make tough choices, that hey, in the short term, let's run a trial run. Let's say we'll run a small trial run for air freight and get some feedback. Okay. In the long run, we can prioritize air freight above any other form of logistics. Therefore, a good balancing is needed. It says market and user research. Learners, these days this is extensively done using AI tools as well. All right. I'll give you one example over here. Today, when we book, let's say, Uber again, there is an option to choose that whether I want a driver who is, let's say, talkative. Will I, need a cab which should have AC on, cold, or so on and so forth? All of these feedbacks were given by the user that, hey, driver is not switching on AC, or let's say he's too much talkative, so on and so forth. This is where your user research comes in, and this is how your new features develop, as we see in Uber today. Could be multiple ways. You could have data coming in from your platform, which you could analyze, or you could directly have an interview with, let's say, a user. You could have surveys. However, a lot of tech is used in this, and tools like Google Analytics, Mixpanel play an important role, because they give you real time data on how your platform is performing. So you get real time answers to user requirements. Technical understanding. Now, learners, it's a very common, what do you say, saying that to become a product manager, you must have tech background. You must be an engineer. You must be from computer science, IT background. That is, however, not the case, because you are, I'll just put this in red, you are not a coder. You are not a developer. You will not be taking care of databases. You will not be the one designing UI UX. It is not your job. There are people who are meant to play this kind of a role. Your role over here is fostering collaboration. Therefore, some knowledge of tech and excellent collaboration communication will get the job done. That means you must know what right questions to ask. You have the responsibility of defining the scope. If the developer says, I can do this, you need to narrow him down that no, it has to be limited to just two features. Now, since you have, what do you say, a bird's eye view of the business, you have bird's eye view of tech, you should be able to anticipate some kind of potential issues. For example, if you launch this particular feature, what are the backlashes competitors have faced? Therefore, you should be aware of these potential issues. Now it says data analysis and matrix. Like I mentioned, certain tools like Google Analytics, Mixpanel, all of these tools require no coding. They only require you to analyze data. For example, let's say Google Analytics tells you about Amazon. Let's say you're the product manager at Amazon. Now, through Google Analytics, you're getting some inputs which says that people are not using, let's say, the search option more. Or maybe people are not using Amazon Pay more. Or deliveries in, let's say, Bangalore's Whitefield have dropped drastically in the past 1 quarter. You get these kind of data which will help you to make decisions. That let's say what could be going wrong. Don't we have enough delivery partners, or is there some kind of a delivery shortage? Therefore, data analysis and decision making would comprise your day-to-day task. This would encompass, let's say, what are the conversion rates. For example, you ran a marketing campaign and you were expecting the conversion rate somewhere around 12 to 15%. That's your marketing team's job. They have already told you. However, the real conversion rate that we got was even less than 5%. So that's your job to look into the issue. Similarly, things go for user engagement. Your UI UX in charge told you that, hey, with this kind of a new UI, we could enhance the user experience. However, you see that the time spent on the platform has not increased. Then again, it's your job to look at these kind of issues. Again, we come back to the reason of the existence of a product manager, which is the user. It says putting yourself in the user's shoes and understanding their struggles, needs, and goals. Let's look at another example, which is something that we again commonly use on a day-to-day basis. And let's look at that example of a Gmail. Today, if you open Gmail, you even have an option of Gemini coming up on the top right corner. That means users are, let's say, using AI tools today for almost all of their tasks. Should that be present while they're writing their emails? Obviously, yes. Great. Should that be present in day-to-day handling of emails? Absolutely, yes. Therefore, give an option of Gemini to Gmail. That means you understand what users are doing actively today, how are they performing those tasks, and then you implement those features. For example, a very common document that you will be preparing as product managers is called the PRD. This document could take almost a week's time to get done. But using something known as Copilot by Microsoft, it can be done in less than 5 minutes. Therefore, if the user is using Copilot, then let's incorporate Copilot in all of MS Office offerings. That's what Microsoft has done. That's how you take care of user and you put yourself in the shoes of the user. Remember this one thing, learners, you are not the boss. The product manager has no authority over a developer to tell him or her to do a particular task. No, that is not your authority. You don't have the authority over marketing team to tell someone to run this kind of a campaign. No. You run the show without authority. Obviously, there are other ways you can exert authorities, but yes, those are best avoided and they do take time and they do leave a bad impression. For example, you could talk to the tech lead and say, this developer is not doing up to the mark. So it creates some kind of a friction within the team. That's the reason, learners, it's all your soft skills that will run the show for you. You would say you lead with influence and not hierarchy. It's about guiding your team, sharing the vision, and having non-official power. We'll come to the last, let's say, soft skill that we are looking at is adaptability and decision making under uncertainty. Now, I'll give you another very commonly used example. Yes, here we are at the Gmail part. Now, if Gmail today says that uh, 15 GB is what we are offering to, let's say, free users. Okay. However, with rising demand for data, storage. Users are requiring more. Okay, they can open another Gmail account. That's great. They get another 15 GB. But managing these two, one file or one picture present here, one file, one picture present here, may or may not make sense, right? So let's launch a loyalty plan, because people are creating more and more Gmail accounts and they are also not happy managing different accounts. You're also creating trouble because again, you're not generating revenue. So let's have a loyalty plan wherein we offer 100 GB. Apart from this, they can have multiple accounts under this umbrella. That's again how you adapt to changing user requirements. I think we discussed about Google Analytics tool, Mixpanel tool. These tools are used for analysis of, let's say, whatever data your platform is generating. Jira is extensively used in product management tech teams to run your show. Which developer or which feature is at what stage, which developer is handling what part of the feature, so on and so forth. Again, we've got Plan, Trello. You would be using extensively for creating product roadmaps and collaboration with your team.
Staying ahead in your career requires continuous learning and upskilling. Whether you're a student aiming to learn today's top skills or a working professional looking to advance your career, we've got you covered. Explore our impressive catalog of certification programs in cutting-edge domains, including data science, cloud computing, cybersecurity, AI, machine learning, or digital marketing. Designed in collaboration with leading universities and top corporations, and delivered by industry experts, choose any of our programs and set yourself on the path to career success. Click the link in the description to know more.
Hi there, if you like this video, subscribe to the Simplilearn YouTube channel and click here to watch similar videos. To nerd up and get certified, click here.